In a rare visit, a Philippine delegation has traveled to Taiwan for a maritime forum. The delegation includes one former and two current senior officials, including a spokesperson for the Philippine Coast Guard. It comes after Manila lifted its decades-old restrictions on official travel to Taiwan in April. The delegation also met with President Lai Ching-te during their visit. Philippine participation is seen as a major milestone in Taiwan-Philippine relations. It comes amid rising tensions between China and the Philippines in the South China Sea. For more on the Philippine officials' visit to Taiwan, our senior reporter David Santos spoke to one of them, Coast Guard spokesperson Jay Tarriela, in an exclusive interview for TaiwanPlus. Though billed as the first Philippine delegation to visit Taipei since Manila eased restrictions on its officials visiting Taiwan, Tarriela says he's here in his role as an academic. David began by asking why it's important that Manila takes part in the Maritime Forum.
So, Dr. Tarriela, talk to us about your visit to Taiwan.
I highlighted that it is important for all those countries who are experiencing bullying and violation of their rights as a country is that we don't have to be silent about it. We need to expose such aggression and tell that to the world. It doesn't mean that we want to provoke anybody or to escalate the tension, but it's important for us to tell the international community that as a peace-loving nation, there is this country, like the People's Republic of China, who violates international law, does not adhere to the law of the sea, and even bully ordinary Filipino fishermen.
What is the objective of this maritime forum, and what is the Philippines bringing to the table?
When you talk about Ocean Forum, it's not just about security. There are other issues, whether economic, trade, and investment. You also talk about, most importantly, the protection of the marine environment. So these are three pillars of maritime governance that we really need to look into. The first one is, of course, security. The second one, security and adherence to the international law. The second one is the protection of the marine environment. And the third one is the blue economy. These are the things that we can ignite the conversation and learn from each other.
Both the Philippines and Taiwan continue to face China's aggressive actions. What lessons are we learning from each other based on the engagements you've had in this forum?
We should stop calling it as gray zone already. In the Philippines, we have already stopped using gray zone activities, but we are there to call it out outright violation of international law. It is illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive action on the part of the People's Republic of China. And then for us to learn from the Taiwanese government as well is to how do they deal with the misinformation and fake news. I think the Taiwanese people had been also subjected to information operation. How does the Taiwanese government deal with all of those misinformation that are also being spread out in different social media platforms?
You had the chance to meet the president of Taiwan. Did you get to speak to him, and what was the conversation like?
Well, I had a chance to ask a question to the president. He was actually kind enough to respond to a lot of questions from different delegates coming from different countries. But for me, I asked him that since we are part of the first island chain, and the Philippines is actually very close to Taiwan, in his administration as the president of Taiwan, how he can be able to further improve our cooperation in different dimensions of engagement. And he highlighted that under his administration, he really supports strengthening our cooperation in different dimensions. But he said the difficulty sometimes is on the those who are on the receiving end of the cooperation proposals that they have.
That was Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson Jay Tarriela.